Hey folks, we made it to November, start of the holiday season. It's crazy. I know it always comes by quicker than we expect, but I hope you're all excited about it. I got a handful of things I want to share with us. Some of them are pretty important from a security standpoint, and some of them are feature updates that if you're using any digital whiteboarding apps, you're going to want to know about. I also have a ClassLink tip for us as well, since as you know, we use ClassLink for quite a lot of things. So I want us all to be aware of just a couple of organizational features that are available to us in there. So let's get started with the security updates. I've been talking a little while, actually each iSchool newsletter this year about MFA or multi-factor authentication being something that was coming soon. It is available right now. It is not required yet, but we are going to be requiring it as part of our staff accounts going forward in the very near future. So pay attention to some updates and deadlines related to that coming up. But it is available now. So if you want to get ahead of the game with your HPS account security, you have the ability to do that now. We have our knowledge base article that talks about securing our accounts, how to set up complex passwords and all that. And as part of that in here, we talk about multi-factor authentication, what that means a little bit more in detail, plus just simply how to set it up. It's really just a matter of in our ClassLink profile, going over to our profile, going into settings and visiting the security tab so you can choose your method of choice for multi-factor authentication. And our options that we have, you can set up a personal phone number if you would like. You get a text with a PIN, so that gives you that extra layer of security. There is an image option where you can pick from a preset library of pictures. You select one that resonates with you, and you'll be asked to select from a random set of pictures and find your image when you log in. If you use a mobile authenticator app, such as Google Authenticator, 1Password, etc., you can set it up in there as well. Or if you just want the good old PIN number, you can establish a 6-digit PIN unique to this process, and you can get ahead of the game there, set up based on your personal preference there. But if you're of the mind to get ahead of requirements before it's forced on you, please take a moment, go into your ClassLink security tab, set up your MFA, so that you have that layer of security already established right when you're required to do so. And of course, if you have any questions about this process, what this means, why we're doing it, feel free to put in a support ticket and we'll help you from there. The next piece of security, it actually deals with Google Drive. It's something we've talked about before, but I want to reiterate just as an important thing to keep an eye on. And this deals specifically with sharing items in Google. We love sharing, we love collaboration, we love all the things that kind of come with that. But as we know, sometimes sharing is not caring, and we can open up things a little more beyond what we would want to do necessarily. And so I want us to all be aware of what I'm talking about with that, number one. And then number two, a little bit of homework to double check yourself to make sure that you're in a good spot with these sharing requirements. So we know that when we share a file in Google, at first, any file that we have or folder, it's restricted to just us, that we have to specifically give other people access to it, right? And so we're used to now, for the most part, just typing in a name or a group and sending it off and delegating permissions from there. And I think many of us are used to this idea too, of instead of sharing it with individual people, we can switch the access from us and individual people to larger groups so that we can just send a link out and be good from there. So here's the good and bad thing about that is we can choose, hey, it's open to Haverhill Public Schools, and then this link of this particular file is findable, it's searchable, and people can get to it very easily. Still have to sign in, but it's protected within our environment. Here's the point of clarification I want us all to be aware of, is that when we choose Haverhill Public Schools, that means the entirety of our organization. That means staff at every building. That means students at every building, the entire umbrella. So all staff, all students have access to this file if they find it, if we choose Haverhill Public Schools. That's why we do have an option that's HPS staff only, so that when we want to share something that is a little bit more open, not to specific people, but we want to expand our horizons for that we have the ability to do that. but no students can access that. And so be aware that that's a choice you have when we're sharing a specific file. Make sure that we're not opening up things that might be of a sensitive nature for students to see, but are staff-only visibility. The other piece of homework I mentioned, that was the awareness piece of just know how are we sharing things. And here's the kind of double check and homework that I'd like us all to do is that in our drives, we have a little filter tool at the top. And this allows us to quickly refine all the things in our drive. It's a very powerful tool. We can do a lot of different things in here. But for our homework today, what I'd love us all to take a moment to do is just search for anything that's owned by you where the location is visible to anyone in Haverhill Public Schools. And so the owner is you, the location is visible to anyone in Haverhill, and then we search. And what you would hope to see here is that anything that does show up in this list is okay to be shared with the entire organization. If you find things that show up in this list that are sensitive of nature, change your sharing permissions right away on that. So do this little quick search where the owner is you and the source is our domain, everything in Haverhill, and make sure that if anything shows up in that list, that you're comfortable with the contents of that, because naturally we don't want digital documents being in the hands of unsuspecting folks. Okay, the next update is for you who use digital whiteboarding tools. Google has announced, and you might have even seen this yourself, that they had this tool called Jamboard that they released kind of during COVID times as a digital online whiteboarding solution. It was a built-in tool that you could use to create drawings and whiteboard and do a lot of different things. Google's announced that they're not supporting Jamboard anymore. It's going to go away. They give us, I think it's about a year of time before it's officially gone. But we like to get ahead of the game as best we can if that is a tool that you're used to using. And so Jamboard should be something that you want to start looking for alternatives if that's something that's part of your workflow. And then unfortunately, Google does this and doesn't really ask our opinion sometimes. They just said, no, we're stopping doing this. So a couple quick options that you have available to you if you are a Jamboard user that we've talked about before, and I got a new one for us as well. The first is something called Chrome Canvas. I'll put a link to it in our description box, but it's simply canvas.apps.chrome. It's a very straightforward digital whiteboarding tool. You basically come here, you hit new drawing, and you have a blank canvas that you can go with, a couple different pen tools, very basic colors that you can choose from, some line thickness options, and then you just simply start drawing from there, and you have your digital collaboration tool from there. Okay. So that's an easy one, super simple. It gets the job done from a digital whiteboarding thing. And naturally, it saves it as part of your Chrome browser from there. So you can reuse some of these things later on. If that doesn't suit your needs and you're looking for more advanced options, things that include shapes and diagramming and infinite canvas and collaboration and templates and things like that, we just recently signed up for a partnership with a company called FIGMA. They offer their platform completely for free for public school districts. They sign a digital privacy agreement so they're safe to use within our environment. You can sign in with your Haverhill Google account just simply at figma.com. They are a very comprehensive platform where they do more than just whiteboarding. They also do UX design and templating from a software, website management, project management standpoint. That goes beyond a lot of what we do, but some of the higher end needs you might find some use of for sure. But related to digital whiteboarding, if you go to figma.com, sign in with your Haverhill Google account, they call their digital whiteboarding Fig Jams. And so you can come in here and create a new Fig Jam board. And it's another concept of digital whiteboard shows up for you. But it does have a lot more tools that are available beyond some of the basic things that you're out there. Everything from shapes to text to tables to diagrams to interactive elements. They even have quick ideas of throwing in a template as soon as you get started. And so if you want a flow chart right away, If you want a table right away, you can do that. They even have education templates. So if you come in here and go to for the classroom, maybe you want to do something, story arc as a good example. We'll hit that add template, and they have this pre-built template that has some details in it. You can put in name, and it's this infinite canvas idea, right? Where we can zoom in, everything gets bigger and more approachable in terms of either typing or drawing. It's got all the arrows and all the pieces to it. It's like this digital whiteboarding, scrapbooking type of canvas. So very powerful resource here. There can be a lot to it. So it's definitely something to spend some time in, play around with, see if it can work well for you, and also for your students, of course. I will also share links in our description where there's a whole playlist of YouTube tutorials, only a couple minutes each, that kind of cover all the basics of what you may want to explore and use this platform for, including some collaboration ideas with students. And then I'll also share a more comprehensive guide as well. So if you're not one that likes YouTube videos and wants to explore on your own, you can come down here and get a how-to guide just from the company themselves. So again, Jamboard's going away, but quick options of Chrome Canvas or that new partnership with Figma, just as a more expansive idea should you like to go deeper with these kinds of things. Alrighty, and then the last thing for today is back to ClassLink. Obviously we use ClassLink for a lot of things, a lot of digital resources, a lot of apps, a lot of connections that we have within our ClassLink portal as soon as we get in here. But of course, as the more we use something, the more cluttered it can get, right? And so what I want us all to be aware of is that you can actually manage the organization of your ClassLink portal. This Launchpad area is organized by you, or can be, and is customizable. So if you're finding the icons and all the things that are right in your face are a little much for you, you have the ability not only to quickly drag things around as a way to sort, or if you don't like how you sorted, you can right click and sort them by name right away. You can just quickly rearrange things as you see fit, but you also have the ability to make folders as well. So if I do that right click and I hit add folder, maybe I simply just want a miscellaneous folder. And so now I have that folder in here, and let's say there's something I just don't use, I can add any of these apps to a folder, and it gets it out of that main grid view. And then I can just quickly have that reorganization as I see fit. And of course, I can move that folder around as well. Super simple, but just a quick trick that might help you be more efficient as you interact with ClassLink. And you can also have your students do some of these things as well, should you ever need to. All right, those are my updates for the month of November. Again, keep an eye out for some more details in terms of deadlines for our multi-factor authentication piece. Do that homework of your Google Drive sharing. And then if you are a Jamboard user, explore some of those other options to kind of prepare yourself for the inevitable. I hope you're doing well. Enjoy the start of the holiday season, and we'll catch you soon.